What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, this was one of my most anticipated films of the year. I really love what James Gunn was able to do with the first film. The second one kind of grew on me over time. There were things that at first I really didn't like, but has grown on me over time. And I think there are a lot more positives than there are negatives. I don't think it's the worst film of the bunch, but it's definitely a little bit disappointing. So this film really had to step up its game and give us something that was going to be a very emotional ride, because this is going to be the last time we're going to be seeing this incarnation of the Guardians, and James Gunn did not miss a beat, and neither did the cast. Because not only did everybody step up their A game and gave us something to remember and an emotional goodbye, everybody in the cast had their moment to shine, and it was just an absolute blast. I absolutely loved this movie. I'm not sure if it's going to rival the first one for the best film in the Guardians series, but as for right now, it's definitely up there. This is definitely the best MCU film that we've had since No Way Home, which isn't really saying much because a lot of the films since then have been mediocre, to say the best. But this movie definitely brought everything that you've been wanting the MCU to deliver, and everybody from James Gunn to the cast brought their A game, and they delivered a fantastic movie. Even though this movie is not perfect, the goodbye that we get in this movie is absolutely perfect. I love what all the characters were going for. I really love the fact that we were able to see them grow throughout the entire series. And when it came down to this movie, even though I was not really invested in a couple of things that we're going to be getting into, everybody had a fantastic role to play. I thought the cinematography for this movie is amazing. It looks beautiful. The score is fantastic. And only James Gunn is able to infuse music and make it work. He's been able to do that with the Suicide Squad. He was able to do that with both of the Guardian movies, and he was able to do that with Slither, and he does not miss a beat when it comes down to this movie, because the music, even from the score to the actual music that's on the soundtrack, is absolutely phenomenal. The cinematography looks absolutely breathtaking. This is a movie you definitely want to see on the biggest screen possible, because everything just comes to life and it just looks absolutely beautiful. The humor at times was a little bit hit and miss, but it hit a lot more times than it did in the second one, because this movie definitely is funny, but it doesn't fall into those tropes where there is a serious moment and then it gets broken down with a joke. The humor in this movie is absolutely earned, and James Gunn did a fantastic job with the writing. We do get to see the backstory of Rocket in this movie, and we do get flashbacks sprinkled in throughout the entire film, and I didn't know how I was going to feel about that. But once we get into the flashbacks and we see what Rocket was like before he met the Guardians, what made him be the Rocket that we know today, every single time we cut back to those flashbacks, they absolutely delivered, and they were so emotional. I really love the relationship between Rocket and his old friend Lila that we see in the trailers. I thought their chemistry was absolutely fantastic, and Lila became one of my favorite characters because I really love what they went for, and I just love seeing Rocket and Lila interact. I kind of wish we had a little bit more of that. But aside from that, everything about this movie was absolutely fantastic. Now, I got those positives out of the way. Now let's go into a bit of the mixed negative side of the film, because like I said, this movie is a perfect goodbye, but the movie is far from perfect. Some of the things that may feel a little bit off is the way the story is being told, mostly because you have a lot of different things going on at the same time. You have Rocket's backstory, you have the Guardians going on a mission, you have Star-Lord still being sad about Gamora being gone, well, not technically gone, but not remembering who Star-Lord is. And so you got a little bit more of that. And then you also have the High Evolutionary and what he's been doing over time. You have Adam Warlock. So you have so many ingredients in this movie. And even though this movie did not feel like it was overstaying its welcome, the movie is about 2 hours and a half, and it did not feel that long. I could have watched this movie for another 30 minutes. and I would have still been satisfied because it did not feel long. However, there are just a lot of components in this movie that kind of feel a little bit clustered and a little bit messy from time to time, but that did not take away from the enjoyment of this film. I was really looking forward to seeing what Will Poulter was going to be doing as Adam Warlock. At times, he does have his moments to shine. However, it kind of feels like he is a bit of a mama's boy at times. Now, on the drive here, there were a couple of things that I was reminiscing about why he was that way. At times, he had his moments. Other times, it just felt like he was an afterthought, and he barely has any screen time in this movie. But whenever he does have his screen time, I really love the performance that Will Poulter gave, but I don't think he was utilized the very best possible way. And you also have Elizabeth Debicki coming back as the Gold Lady, and she also feels, just like in the second film, she feels like an afterthought in this movie. You could have taken out Adam Warlock and her, and the movie would not have missed a beat. Now, I am saying this as somebody that doesn't read any comic books or know anything about Adam Warlock, don't know anything about his origins. However, to me, judging it on its own merits, how he's being used in the movie, he did not work for me as much as I wanted him to. He did not feel at all threatening, and that goes into something that is also reminiscent of the High Evolutionary. At times he had his moments, and you really do just get to see him in flashbacks. You don't really get to see a lot of him in present day. And even though he had his moments to shine in the flashbacks, he didn't feel like one of the best villains. I think he was underutilized just a little bit, and at times he was a little bit forgettable, mostly because this is the person that we're supposed to be fearing because of what he's been doing. And it just did not come across that way. Aside from those negative / mixed things that I liked, but could have used a little bit more of. This movie was still a lot of fun. It was emotional, it was funny, it was heartfelt. It was sad saying goodbye to these characters that we've known for almost 10 years. And we've seen their adventures, we've seen them grow together. But everybody in this movie had their moment to shine. Nebula had her moment to shine. At times, I wasn't sure how her comedy was going to feel in the movie, but Karen Gillan absolutely knocked it out of the park, and I think this is the best that she's been. It was funny, it was emotional, it was heartfelt, and it was just a great send-off for these characters that we've known for almost 10 years. But overall, I'm going to go ahead and give Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 an 8.5 out of 10. Like I said, the goodbye is perfect. The story is not, and you could have used a little bit more, but I absolutely came out having a big smile on my face. I was crying from the moment that the Marvel logo pops up, and I was crying from beginning to end. This movie is definitely one that you want to see on the biggest screen possible. But those are my thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy. Are you guys excited to check this film out? I got to see it a week early, but this film comes out next week, so let me know if you're excited for this film. And if you like this video, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on more. Click that bell notification so you get notified every single time that a video pops up, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side.